Hello, Sunandra.
Hi, Miss.
Yeah. So today we are going to learn how to recognize the graph. Okay. So based on the equation given, you can understand the nature of your graph. What will be the shape of the graph? Okay. So let's discuss few type of graphs here. So there is first one is linear graph, or you can also call it as straight line graph. So as it says the word straight line, here you have the equation y is equal to mx plus c. So this is linear equation because here the highest power of variable is 1. Your variable is x, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when we are plotting the straight line graph, you can find the nature of graph will be either it is going from left side to right upwards, or even you can find from left up coming right down. If you remember previous sessions, we have discussed about the positive and negative gradient, right?
Yeah.
So when we have a graph going up like this, it will always have a positive gradient. When you have a graph coming down like this, it will have a negative gradient. Is this clear to you?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So whenever your equation is in this form, mx plus c, or you can also like in some books it is like ax plus b, it is the same thing. It is linear equation. You have to remember linear equation. So I'll give you one example. Y is equal to 2x plus 3. Y is equal to 4x minus 5. Both are linear equation. You also have y is equal to minus 2x plus 2. Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you can see here we have another two types of graphs. So here you see my this graph of this line is parallel to y-axis. So when it is parallel to y-axis, so you can see here this graph, this vertical line is passing through some point on x-axis. So my equation, suppose this point is 4. So if I say this point is 4, so I will say the equation of this graph is x is equal to 4. Is this clear to you?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So this is parallel to y-axis. Now you can see here another straight line, horizontal line here, which is passing through y-axis. So I will say, suppose here on y-axis it is passing through 6. So I will say this is y is equal to 6. Is this clear to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So a linear equation can have a straight line graph going from left hand side to upwards, okay, and another one can have from upside of the left hand side coming downwards. So these are the two types of graph you will find in linear equation. Okay. Now another type is parabola. You can call it as quadratic. So you know that standard form of quadratic equation is y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. We call it as quadratic because the highest power of the variable or x is 2 here. Okay. Now
Okay.
I'll give you two examples. You have suppose y is equal to 3x square plus 2x plus 5. We can also have one more equation y is equal to minus 4x square plus 5x plus what minus 3 whatever. Okay, you have to mainly look here. See, the coefficient of x square is negative, and here the coefficient of x square is positive. Depending on the coefficient of x square, our nature of graph will change. Okay, when you have a negative coefficient of x square, your graph is like this. Okay,
Okay.
okay. And then when you have coefficient of x square, a positive number, as here it is seen 3, then we have like this. Is this clear to you?
Yes, miss.
When it is smiley, like upside like smiley, then it means it is a positive gradient, positive coefficient for x square, and the smiley is downwards, so sad face, then it is a negative coefficient. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Okay, what does this represent? This point represents your y-intercept, this constant. Got it? This
Yeah.
constant is represented here. Okay. Now we have another type of graph that is called as hyperbola, or we can also say this is reciprocal graph. Okay. So the equation for reciprocal graph is like this. See, y is equal to a over x, right? So we can also say this is xy is equal to a, because you just cross multiply and we get it like this. Okay, so generally I can say that, for example, you can have y is equal to 3 over x, or you can also say y is equal to minus 10 over x, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it can also be y is equal to a over x square plus q. Okay, it can be anything. So again, you have to look here. When you have a graph here, right hand side upside, and here, this is for the positive equation. See this one, y is equal to 3 over x. Here this is positive, so your graph is like this. And if you look at this one, here your graph is negative. Here you can see minus 10 over x, your equation is negative, so your graph will be like this. Is this clear to you?
Yeah.
Okay. See why it is important to understand the nature of graph, because in exam you get actually, see, when you are doing the curved graph chapter, you are going to draw some quadratic equations graph, or it might be cubic graph, and then you draw a straight line and you look for the solution. I hope you remember. You draw the straight
Yeah.
line and we look for the solution. So what happens when you draw the graph, or whenever you are plotting the graph, you must know what is expected, like what will be the expected shape of your graph, right? For that you should understand, okay, what is expected shape of my graph, so that when you are plotting it, you understand whether you have done it right or not. Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope this is clear to you until here.
Yes, miss.
Okay, next is cubic curve. Okay, so this is nothing but again a cubic equation. Okay, so a cubic equation, it will always have three solutions. So you can see it is like this. Okay,
Yeah.
now in this also we have positive and negative graphs. Okay, so this one is positive and you can have like this as negative. Okay, so standard form of cubic equation is y is equal to ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, where the highest power of variable is 3, right? So you can
Yes.
have, for example, you can have like this,
Yeah.
plus 10. Okay, or
Okay.
you can we can also say, okay, 5x minus 10, right? Sometimes you
Yeah.
may also have a cubic equation like this, minus 5x cube plus 3. This is also cubic equation. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
so this one is your positive wala graph, and sometimes you might get the graph like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever your coefficient is negative, you get the graph like this. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, next graph is exponential curve. Generally, this is not asked, but you should know what is the nature of this graph. Okay, so exponential curve. So it is y is equal to a to the power of x, or y is equal to a to the power of minus x, right? So for this you will have a graph of this kind. Okay, So, see, you can see a point here, not point, you can see that curve. You just observe that this curve is passing through point 1 here on the y axis. Okay, and it is going like this. This will never intersect the x axis. Okay, you have to be careful that this
Yeah.
is never going to intersect the x-axis, but it will go very very close to x-axis. Okay, and your this graph will always intersect at it will never go beyond 1, means lower than 1. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. And here also you see this is also going very very close to x-axis, but it will never intersect the x-axis. So this is called as the asymptote of the curve. So you will study that in later stages. Okay, now, so these are the combined curves where linear, quadratic, cubic, and reciprocal graphs are all there together. So this we can go through some examples and understand about it. So is there anything you would like to ask me? So one more thing I wanted to tell you is, see, when I say a linear equation, when I have a linear equation, my solution will be just I will get a one solution. Okay, one solution means the value of x will be just something, some one value. I will get one value for x. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when we do this quadratic equation, see, you can see that this quadratic equation, this parabola, is intersecting x-axis at 2 points here, and you can see here as well. Okay, these
Yeah.
2 points are called as the solution of the equation. Okay, so here
Yes.
your highest power is 2, and you can see that you are getting two values as well. Okay. Hmm?
Okay.
Yeah. And okay, so we will discuss this in another chapter still more. So this was just about the nature